Hey, good morning. Pastor Mark here. Just wanted to give you a few minutes this morning to give you something to think about. I wanted to talk about sin. Not a popular topic. In fact, many preachers are told to stop preaching about sin and stop telling people how sinful they are and things like that. Sin is an important topic to understand, especially for believers. If we're Christians, then sin is something that we should understand. If we didn't know how sinful we are or didn't know that we were sinners, then how did we come to salvation? What were we saved from? Salvation is from the power and the wages of sin. God saved us from what we deserved for our sin. Sin is basically, it's just disobeying God. And the Bible talks a lot about sin, so as a pastor, I can't overlook it. In fact, as a Christian, I don't want to overlook it. This is crazy. I understand, but for unbelievers, this really doesn't make any sense. But as believers, we understand that in the beginning, Adam and Eve sinned, and that's what caused us all to fall under condemnation. And because of what Adam did, we all have inherited guilt. He represented us as the first human. He represented the whole human race, so that everyone born from Adam on is born in sin. We are sinful by our very nature. We sin, of course, in what we do and what we say and what we think, but we also are just sinful because we're born that way. And automatically, people start thinking, "Oh, that's not fair. No fair." Crying, "Why do I have to be guilty for what somebody else did thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago?" But it's exactly in that makes the gospel even more amazing. Because, see, God made the human race in such a way that it could be represented by one person. And so when that one person, Adam, messed up, he messed it up for all of us. But here's the great part. Because we can be represented by one person came to represent all of us as well. And his name was Jesus. And he did everything perfect. And so that if we will believe in him, he becomes our representative. And his righteousness becomes ours. Instead of the sin that we get from Adam, he takes that sin off of us and he gives us his own righteousness. That's not my understanding. That's not what I think. But that's what the Bible teaches us in Romans chapter 5. He's saying that Adam messed it all up. And because of Adam, sin and death and everything came into existence. But because of the second Adam, the better representative, Jesus Christ, he came to put away sin and give us his own righteousness. So if you don't think it's fair that you inherited guilt from Adam, I'm sorry. But it's not fair that you inherited righteousness from Jesus Christ either. But I'm glad I do. I'll take the sin, I'll take the inherited guilt, if that means that I get Jesus, if that means that he is mine and I am his and that he has covered me. That's grace. I didn't deserve it. I didn't deserve to be a sinner because of Adam, but I didn't deserve to be saved because of Jesus either. And that's why it's so amazing. And so that's why I must teach about sin. That's why we need to understand sin, because it is a terrible thing, absolutely. And we need to struggle against it and fight against it and change and grow and become more like Jesus. But we've got to understand that Jesus put sin to death. He took care of it for us. And we walk in righteousness because of what he has done. That's awesome. So this morning, don't think of sin as, "Oh, I'm just a sinner." Well, think of it as, "Oh, wretched man that I am, who will deliver me from this body of death," as Paul talks about in Romans 7. But thanks be to God through Jesus Christ. Because of him, we have no more condemnation. Yes, be wretched and mourn and weep over your sin, but let that make you worship Jesus that much more. Think on that this morning. God bless you guys. We'll see you soon.